Here is a Power Query trick that is going to blow your mind. It has been saving me countless hours of time when dealing with text data and replacing values. Let me show you what I mean. So here I have got some credit card statement and I want to tag all the expenses. So for the tagging purpose, I have got this if this then that kind of a mapping table. It's a really simple table. If the statement transaction contains this word, for example, Panera bread, then I want to categorize that as eating out. Likewise, if it contains the word Exxon, then I want to categorize that as gas. And I can have more items here and more replacement categories there. And a single line item can have multiple categories. For example, here is one Rite Aid short north 43210 transaction something something, and it has the word Rite Aid. So Rite Aid is right here, and I would like to categorize that expense as pharmacy. Now, how can we do this? Of course, you can do manual find replace kind of a thing, but that's going to take forever if you have got thousands or hundreds of transactions. So here I'm going to show you a really simple Power Query trick that does this job and introduces some amazing functions and concepts along the way. Let's take a look at this. So first up, we would like to load these tables into Power Query. I'm gonna select any one cell here, go to data and use from table range option. Even though I'm using Excel for this, you can do the same concept in Power BI as well. So now my transaction data is in Power Query. You can see that I have been already playing with Power Query and I have loaded some of the other things there. The rules is the rules table. So these two are straightforward. Transaction is my credit card statement and rules is the if this then that table that we just made. Now I have created a function called categorize text that takes three inputs: an input text, a find list, and a replacement list. So this is a function that I have made. I'm going to show you how we can actually build this function from scratch so that you understand the concepts, and then we are going to invoke that on the data. So here in the transaction data, let's take one text at a time. So this very first one, enterprise rent a car, arena district, something something, and we are looking for the keyword enterprise rent a car and match it against this items here. If it is containing any of those keywords, then we are going to tag it. Unfortunately, enterprise doesn't appear in this, but let's pick target. So if I go somewhere here I have got target, arena district. You can see that the word target is there. So I would like to categorize this particular line item as shopping. And if I don't find any of the line rules in a specific item, we can just leave it blank. So that's really what we are going for. Now to do this, we can take this problem and break it apart and to the simplest thing. The simplest problem would be, we just need to do it for one at a time. If I can take any input text and then look for any of the, so we have got two lists, right? We have got if this, TT is then that. So if any of the words in this if this list are found in this text, then we want to get the corresponding category from then this and kind of create the list of categories and comma separate it. That's what we are going for. Now to do this, we'll need to find which of the words are here. Unfortunately, Power Query doesn't have an option where I can say find any of these words. It can find one within another. So I'm going to show you what that is. So for example, if I want to find for target, I could go add column, custom column. You can also do this with screen, but we want to write some code here that actually lets us do this. So we are going to use this option. And for example, here, if I say Text.Contains, open bracket, and transaction detail. So it takes two inputs, text and substring. So is the transaction detail containing the words target. You can see the limitation here. We can only specify one word at a time. So then it will be true wherever target has appeared and false for everything else. There's going to be some true statements there, but everything else will be false. So the problem is we don't want to find one. We have got a whole bunch of rules and we would like to find all of them. And then if this is found, then we want to return that. So that's the challenge there. So what we want is we want to iterate, kind of loop through this list. And for each item, if this is found, we want to take that and kind of add it up, accumulate it. Power Query has the perfect function for it. This is called List.Accumulate. what it does is it goes through a list and it accumulates. It kind of combines these things. I have previously explained what List.Accumulate does in some of the other videos, but I'm going to do again one more explanation in the context of this. So let's take a closer look at this. So to do this, we want to, instead of doing this custom business, I'm going to edit this step. So here we want to accumulate the list. So if I see list.accumulate syntax, open bracket, you'll see that it takes input list, any list as an input, and for each item in that list, it's going to start off with this seed and it will run this accumulator function. Now don't let these technical words confuse you. All this is doing is, for this list, the seed, initially the seed will be kind of like an empty string. It's going to run an accumulator function, any function, and what that function does is it kind of does the text.contains job. It basically looks for each word. Is target there? If so, then this. Now, if you observe closely, as this takes an input list, whereas what we have is a rules table. The table has two columns. Each of the columns can be thought of as a single list. So essentially, if I take any one list, I can iterate and get the corresponding item from the second list. So we are going to construct all of this one step at a time. So before we do the list accumulate, I'm going to open a let block, and then we're going to create a variable s. S would be table count rows, row count of my rules table. I want to know how many times I have to iterate. So s will tell me how many times that is. And then I want to create another variable called sq. This is the list. This is going to be list numbers, open bracket, start from 0 and create a list of the size of s. So this is going to give you 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say there is 10 rules, then it will go from 0 to 9. You will get all the 10 numbers. Now we are going to iterate over this. So we will say list accumulate, open bracket, sq, iterate over sq, start with empty string, let there be nothing, and then for each time you are iterating, run this function. That function will take two inputs. It will take the state and current value. State would be whatever has been accumulated so far, and current would be the current sequence number. So it will be 0 initially, then 1, then 2, then 3, like that. If you've done similar functions in Python or Excel, then Excel has a similar function called scan. They all do the same thing, they accumulate. So now that we get these two variables, what we want is we want to go through the current item and then run the text operation. So we will say Text.Contains and open bracket. Now this text should search my input text with substring. The input text is always the transaction detail. So I'm going to insert that. I think I inserted the data. Let me insert transaction detail. So Text.Contains, does my transaction detail contain, what is the substring? The substring would be corresponding value of the current number in my rules table. So rules table, open bracket, if this column, curly bracket, current. So that will give you the current item. So 0th item, first item, second item, because the list accumulate would run this. So does it have, and we want to do a case insensitive comparison. For this, the keyword is, I keep forgetting these things, so I've got my help open here. It's called comparer.ordinal case ignore. So you have to say this, otherwise it's going to do case sensitive comparison. So we will say that. At this point, all this is doing, Text.Contains is going to do is, does my transaction detail contain the very first one? If so, it's going to be true. Now we don't want to say true or false. What we want is we want to actually build a condition. If true, then we want to get the corresponding item. So we're going to say if this thing is true, obviously you don't need to say equal to true. If that is true, then rules, then that of the current item. So at this point of the operation, we are getting away the matching category. If this is there, then that, otherwise this is not gonna do anything. Else you want double. So this list.accumulate at this point is gonna return what category is there, but we need to accumulate it. Remember, we are starting with the state. So I'm putting brackets around this entire if operation. so that we can treat that as one expression. And then what we want to accumulate is state ampersand this. So we want to keep accumulating. Now when you are accumulating, if there is a match, then we want to not just add but also add a comma. So I'm going to add a comma inside. Okay, so that's the logic. I hope that's that. And that's the list.accumulate. I'm gonna declare a variable cats and store that into that variable. So cats is the list accumulate operation. This is closing all the brackets. We'll close one more bracket for the list.accumulate, and then say in cats, because once you finish all the let, then get me the cats, and click OK, and bingo, we'll get all the categories wherever they are. Of course, there's going to be an extra comma, because the way we have done this is, if you see here, we are adding comma every time a category is found. So once the first category is found, it's going to add a comma, then another comma, then another comma. So this cats will have one extra comma at the end, but that is a trivial operation. You can always remove that last comma by taking out that one extra letter from it, and we'll get this. So you can see that I was able to successfully tag most of the, well, quite a few of the transactions. There are still a few remaining. So this is what that is. That's the logic is all here. Now I was thinking, while this is a very good one, it is kind of hard coded for this specific thing. What if we want to generalize this so you can use it for any kind of data sets? So that's where I created this custom function. In order to do this, what I did is I right clicked and made a blank query. So in this blank query, I basically built that function. So I'm going to show you how that function looks like. It's all this code. I'm going to just copy this. You can see that it is exactly like how our add column is. Let's just view it in the advanced editor. Here is the function. You can see that let source is, this is the function. This is how we are creating input text as text, find list as list, and replace list as list. So it takes two lists rather than an entire table. And let s equal to list count.find list, how many items, and then sequence, generate the sequence of that. And cats would be list.accumulate sequence, start with a blank string, state and current, state ampersand. And then this is exactly how we have written text.contains with comparer, ordinal, ignore case, then replace else. So once this function is done, I can copy paste this function into any Power Query file, and I'll have this function. So I'll put a copy of this code in the comments description section, so you can also get this. Once this function is there, it is here for me. I can directly use this function to test things. So for example, I can say X on target Panera bread 1 2 3 4 something something, and then I can choose the columns. I can say my rules are here. This is the first column, and this is the second column. And then if I invoke this, I'll get eating out, shopping, and gas. 3 categories. Bingo. Now this function is not foolproof. If there is some sort of repetitions, then it's gonna kind of create multiple words of gas. So for example, if I put X on and then shell also, we're gonna get gas because it found those two things. Whereas it would be helpful if you can remove some duplicates from it. Another way of enhancing this is if I go here, you can see that we are accumulating, and we are accumulating a text value. We are concatenating to text. Instead of that, we could create another list, and then at the end of that list, we can just use list.distinct or list.unique to take away any duplicate values and return the list, or return a text representation of that list. So that is also possible. In my case, I didn't have to do that because my data is somewhat clean but not super clean. So this is where that came in. Now I want to add another note here. I'm not a Power Query expert. I kind of feel very comfortable around Power Query, but I'm not like the guy for Power Query. So I searched for a bit, and this is the method that I could find satisfied with it. But do you know any other ways of doing this? If so, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions or your ways of solving these kind of problems. Now, what if you don't want to tag values, you want to replace words? I have got another video on Power Query that also uses List.Accumulate to do this operation. Check it out somewhere here. And if you want to learn more Power Query, check out the playlist that shows up there. I'll catch you in one of these places. Bye.